Hello everyone, Skippy here, and welcome to One Piece episode 1089. Directed by Nozomu Shishido and supervised by Shuichi Ito, Midori Matsuda, Hii and Keisuke Mori. With the start of a new beginning for the One Piece anime as the Egghead arc begins, it only makes sense to hand such a tide-turning episode like this to a young and brand new talent to the anime, Nozomu Shishido. Someone who's worked on One Piece and other Toei shows briefly in the past as an animator and then a unit director for some parts of the One Piece Stampede movie. But they've only just joined the anime team proper now, previously storyboarding episode 1086 just a few months ago, and now getting their chance to direct a full episode on their own. And with the amazing lineup of talent on deck here, it's looking like his seemingly insanely atmospheric and energetic direction will be at its best for the display of the Five Elders' true power and the start of a new adventure for our Straw Hat Pirates. However, before I begin my analysis of the episode proper, I think it's really only appropriate that I take some time to look at what preceded it with the brand new opening to the series, Us, directed by everyone's favorite Megumi Ishitani with help and animation supervision by Mori, aka Soti. Because, oh my god, man. When I say that this may as well be the best One Piece opening of all time, I mean that with absolute fucking certainty. Because this OP is just unreal at every conceivable level. The previous opening that was also directed by Ishitani definitely had its highs, but the minute-long of arc recap definitely killed its momentum, and it's extremely clear that her and Mori's efforts were mainly funneled into this one here. Because with shadowless Kaganashi character designs, bold line work around them, and popping colors that are only supplemented by the fantastically flat yet stylish art direction, you get an absolute feast for the eyes for its entire minute-and-a-half long duration that blew any and all expectations I had out of the water. With a storyboard that's just as stylish and well laid out as its aesthetic, with so many hints to future events that are presented through both sneaky background elements and well done match cuts for the future fights that we'll be seeing in this arc that do so much for the rhythm and tempo of the OP. It's just idea after idea, with my personal favorite being when the Straw Hats are walking together on a colorful terrain, where every step they take changes their outfits to their respective arc outfits for the so far entirety of the post-time skip section of the series, before they all jump together and soar down to Egghead to greet the start of the end of their journey. With the lyrics of the song sung beautifully by Hiroshi Kitadani only emphasizing that. Tears welled up in my eyes watching this opening, and even now when sitting down and analyzing it, I'm afraid I'm not going to do it the justice that it well and truly deserves. Because man, this is an absurdly iconic piece of art that I'm absolutely shocked we got to witness in this series, and one that I'll still be finding ways to talk about with it for years and years to come. Whew, okay, now that I've gushed about that enough, let's get on to the episode. This episode covers the remainder of Chapter 1060 in the first 2 pages of Chapter 1061, which leads into Robin talking about the next road poneglyph that they have yet to find, which leads in perfectly to the start of the final saga. And really, there's not many liberties taken with the content at hand other than a brief cutaway to Morgan's discussing the state of the world after Wano, and more Straw Hat antics and interactions that feel like they were lifted directly from Oda's pen with how well done they are. As the ideas that they come up with just feel so in character and remind me of the times where the crew was just chilling out and doing shit like this more often. And that's only supplemented by Shishido's direction just absolutely killing it at all times. Going from a hopeful and exciting mood at the start of the episode to a more somber and terrifying one the more we submerge ourselves into the Lelouchia incident. With such small little things like the cutoff of the music as we switch to a black screen when Saint Shepard utters the finale of the Lucia never existed line, being such an incredible idea at leaving the audience breathless before they witness the horror that will soon be fired down upon the island. With his OST choices including a new piece of music composed just for the big moment of this episode, never feeling ill-fitting at all and only helping to supplement the already existing atmosphere. There's just an energy present in the direction here that really nails the feeling of the original content, and makes it feel like such a faithful adaptation that at the same time does so much better than the manga too. Transitioning well into talking about his storyboard because there's just so many premium angles and layouts at play here that make every scene feel dynamic and special even when it may not be super duper well animated, and gives the events on display their due grandiose and just overall treatment. Taking cues from Ishitani like most young directors do, to, but still being able to have his own ideas that stand out and make a scene really pop, like the creepy atmosphere of Emu as his wrath on Lelouch inches closer and closer, with the video static and cuts in and out just being absolute genius. Mixed all together with some really well done color work and compositing that just gives this episode that polished edge. However, the episode wouldn't even be nearly as good as it is were it not for the incredibly talented animation staff on board also. Because with the 4 ADs on board, there's definitely no shortage of polished art from head to toe, whether it be Shuichi Ito's polished yet Ichikawa-esque art or character designer Midori Matsuda's softer and more model art. This may make it feel like the episode kinda swaps styles on a whim, but they all somehow manage to feel cohesive and not so incredibly different from one another, even with Hisawa doing the entirety of the Sabo and Lelouch section more or less, and Soti popping in and out during the B part of the episode and through his own corrections and animation along with one of his star pupils Shin Kashiwaguma really give the Straw Hats' silly buffoonery some serious life through their loose yet mind-bendingly good character animation that I just want to grace every possible scene of this crew for the rest of time. And even when we're outside their sections, we get some great animation too that punches above the weight of a normal episode, with Medi's insanely well-crafted scene of the Sunny all 2D animated initially sailing into the snowy island, and Kazuma's fantastically snappy scene that mixes itself with such loose adherence to consistency and form to create such a chaotically great and funny scene. And of course, I'd be remiss to not mention the great Zoro scene by Fasto, who's done several great scenes over the course of Wano, as well as a newcomer who's doing layout for the first time on One Piece, Masaya Hasegawa, who did the Lelouch destruction with such loose effects work, and for the first time ever doing layout on One Piece, it was fantastic. There's just so much to love in this episode from start to finish, which really gives it that arc opening plus that not many arc starters in the series, besides maybe some of Nagamine's own 892, can really compete with. It's just such a great adaptation that takes care of what was already there, and also knows when to take it to the next level to make it hit so hard in a different medium. Planting Shishido firmly as one of my absolutely favorites on the show currently, even after just one episode, and someone who I cannot wait to see again in the future. Now, next week definitely doesn't look to be nearly as good as expected, and we're unaware of any of the staff on the direction side of things just yet, but we can clearly see the corrections of Masayuki Takagi that will surely add some level of polish to it all, as we get ready to wash up on the shore of this brand new island and see who this mysterious blondie is. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. I'm Skippy, and oh yeah, and the ending being literally memories too also? Like, come on, this is just an attack on me at this point.